We live in a culture and a society which is built on the foundation of stimulating envy, of creating envy, of maximizing envy, so that people are not happy with what they've got, so they might want to do new things and get new things. Our whole country, our whole economy, the way we function is built upon that, upon spending more, earning more, so we can grow, so we can get bigger. That's kind of the essence of what it's all about. And because we live in that world, we just accept it and we don't even notice it. And there's stuff that goes on for us that previous generations would not believe. And I was thinking about how to kind of illustrate that and give us a sense of that. Trying to step out of our situation a little bit and think about how we function and what goes on in our culture. And I thought the best example is maybe mobile phone contracts. Now, I have a mobile phone contract. That's how I operate. But if you think about them, that it's a complete scam. What happens is with a mobile phone contract, you pay a monthly amount for 2 years, and maybe you pay 20, 30, 40 pounds a month. If you pay 40 pounds a month, then over a couple of years you've paid £1,000. And at the end of the 2 years, the phone is yours. It's yours to do with whatever you want. But as you get to the end of those 2 years of your contract, your company comes to you and they usher a magic word. A magical word that has an incredible impact on you. They say this, they say you're eligible for an upgrade. And what that means is, rather than stop paying your monthly amounts of 20, 30, 40 pound a month, that you continue paying that, but now you get a new phone. I mean, you don't need a new phone because your old phone works fine, unless you're like people in my family who smash the screen. But for everybody else, your phone's fine. And so you get this new phone, and now you've got 2 phones, so you give the other one away or whatever it might be, and you get a new phone. And that will last you for the end of that contract, and you get an upgrade, and the same thing happens. And we would never do that with anything else. And I think previous generations would be like, we're not doing that, that's a total scam. I mean, just imagine you did that with your washing machine. You pay a monthly amount for 2 years, and after that you own it outright because you've paid enough. And they say, no, we want you to keep paying the monthly amount because we've got you an upgrade and we brought you a new washing machine. And you're like, all right, I've got 2 washing machines now. What am I going to do with the old one? And then they turn up with a TV and say, right, we've got a new TV. Just keep paying the monthly amount. We know you own your old TV outright after 2 years. But we want to give you a new one. It's an upgrade. It's thinner, it's shinier, it's got a new model number or whatever it might be. But it's so part of our culture that we upgrade that we just go along with it, and we just pay our monthly amounts out, and we get things that we don't need, even though the other one's broken. And it's not really about mobile phone contracts. Do what you want with your mobile phone contract. But I'm trying to say that we live in a culture that is on about upgrading, not being satisfied what we've got, so we get a new one. I mean, imagine what happened if we all made an agreement that next year's fashion is going to be the same as this year's fashion. In fact, if we said for the next 5 years, fashion is not going to change. So the stock in the shops is going to be exactly the same. It's not going to be new colours next year. We're not going to go from stripes to checks or to wide jeans to thin jeans. We're just going to keep exactly the same. Our whole society and our economy would crumble because it's built on generating envy. It's built on making us dissatisfied so that we'll upgrade, so that we'll change, so we'll get new, even though we don't need it. That's the way that we function. That's the way our economics functions as a society. And so that makes it very difficult if you live in that culture and you think, actually, no, I want to say no to comparison. I want to say no to envy that's trying to compete for control. I want to move from a place where it's all about what other people have got and I'm dissatisfied with where I am and I want to be somewhere else. I want to get to a place where I'm just content and happy and free where I am. It makes it very, very difficult. But I believe it's possible for us to fight back a little bit in the individual choices that we make. It's possible to get an inner transformation so that we can live differently despite what's going on around us. And Solomon, who was the wisest person ever to live apart from Jesus, he said this in Proverbs 14 verse 30. He said, envy rots the bones. Envy rots the bones. The idea of not being satisfied where you are, that you see what someone else, or you see an advert, or you see a celebrity, or you see a new model, and you think, actually, that's where I want to be. That desire to be somewhere else, to have something else beyond where you are, it rots the bones. I wonder what he meant by that. I wonder what it means for envy in comparison to rot the bones.